What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peach Basement Show. It's just me and Ramon here today. We got a great week. First of all, thank you to everyone who has followed us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram over the course of the past week. Thank you to Cody Stark and all the great people at Good Day Sacramento for having my crazy ass on last Sunday morning. And thank you to everybody who watched that. And that was up bright and early in California. And anybody else that happened to tune in over the course of the week, that was really great. It's been a really fun week. We got a lot of great questions from all you guys out there. We got a fucking storm of questions.
Yes, in a short amount of time. It was just crazy.
But before we get to any of that, let's talk about the books this week. We got C.O.W.L Revival, big cool crossover. COWL #1, Trees #1. And no, we're not talking about weed. Thanos Annual #1. We got Dejah of Mars #1. We got The Flash 31, Nightwing 30, Ghostbusters 16. We got Dr. Spektor, Master of the Occult. We got Batman Eternal #8. And we're going to close out with last week's nod to Amazing X-Men #7. What?
I'll tell you.
I know.
Okay.
You're reading like everything.
Yes.
Actually, our good buddy Captain Sweatpants pointed out that you are like the go-to guy for information, which is absolutely 110% true. The man reads everything. You see his haul list. Guys, if you don't see his haul list, make sure you go on peachbasement.com and subscribe to the haul. It's up in the upper right-hand corner. That's HAUL, not HALL. So you can see what me and the big guy are getting each week. And if we happen to be missing something, you can drop us a line, let us know. The captain suggested that we pick up Green Arrow. Actually scolded me for not picking up Green Arrow.
Actually, I'm actually reading that.
I am not. I'm
a little behind.
I've never read a Green Arrow book, I think, in my life, except for the Oliver Queen Returns thing.
Comes out next week.
But we'll review it for you next week, Cap. I'll see what I can do to, you know, get myself back on track and play catch up. I've been playing a lot of catch up lately, and I apologize. But book of the week this week was C.O.W.L Revival.
Yes.
I've never read Revival, but I heard it was good. Apparently, the guy doing that throws in a lot of background shit like Layman does.
Yeah.
You're reading that too?
Yes.
Of course you are.
Yeah. I didn't expect the crossover between them two because they're different.
Right.
You saw the art.
Yeah.
They're worlds apart.
It was really, I was actually kind of anxious to see how someone else would draw Tony Chu.
Yeah.
And company. I was a little disappointed they didn't draw Agent Colby.
Or the whole cyborg thing.
Yeah.
That's extra.
Out of his range of...
It's out of the range of them, that world. Mm-hmm. So they could probably do
I don't know, they talk about fucking people coming back from the dead. How far is a cyborg?
Well, they haven't gone cyborg yet. They've done psychic, souls, spiritual, creepy shit, but they haven't gone cyborg, so I guess that's why they didn't.
It was a fun... It was like the C.O.W crossover was really fun.
C.O.W's always
fun. And then the Revival crossover, because it was like a flip book. Like you just flipped it over and it was two different stories. God knows where they are in continuity. Lehman actually makes a joke about that.
Yes.
And he's like, flip this book over. You can see how the guys at Revival think that this whole thing went down. And you turn it over and it's the panel from the other side of the book. So good. The thing I picked up on was... Layman had put in the back of the morgue the picture of Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes, which I didn't notice.
I was thinking about in the long run, like, that's fucking brilliant. You've got a town where people come back to life. Mm-hmm. You're in the morgue, Weekend at Bernie's. Genius.
He's special.
And apparently he's done this before, like the whole Weekend at Bernie's thing, and he throws like all kinds of other shit in. How far in is Revival, and how long would it take me to catch up?
It's...
This is a double-digit number.
No, it isn't that far, and it's less than 20.
20 is double digits.
Yeah,
You're thinking I said triple digits.
No, it's still less than 20. 20 isn't a big number.
So like 20 books? All right, so that'll take me like 3 years.
If that, I probably round it up a lot. It's a fast read. It isn't fucking talky. Bendis is nowhere near this. So it's... Yeah.
It seems pretty cool, and I'm very intrigued with this girl's sister that's a reviver.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's, you know... Do these people know that they're revivers until they come back?
No.
It's really cool.
No, you're not a reviver until you come back. The sister is doing some really crazy shit. There's a lot of crazy shit in this. And this is like these books, if you want to get into Revival or C.O.W, these are the books to get because they're like jump on ready, friendly.
Yeah, it completely introduces you to the nature of the character because basically neither of these two people know, neither of these two groups know each other.
Yeah.
So it's very much an introduction book. So I'm going to check out Revival after this. And if you guys are not reading C.O.W, Steve and Ramon had told me about this, and it took me a while to get on it, and I finally did, and I love it. It's my train book, which means the book that I read on the train ride coming home when I pick it up. Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's fantastic. Takes a lot for a book to be a train book for me. Like, that is the first fucking book that I will pull out when it comes out that Wednesday when I get to, the local comic shop. Fucking awesome shit. Clydo, our good buddy, had a question last week that we were not mentally prepared to answer. Had to sit down and think about it for a little bit. I wanted to know if you could have, there was one non-comic book fan in your life that you wanted to make a valiant effort at converting to a comic book fan. What books would you give them? One Marvel, one DC, one other. Do you have an answer? Because I got mine.
Well, he said one from Marvel, one from DC, one from other.
Right.
My problem is the other would be Vertigo, which is owned by DC, but fuck them.
I'm going with my other was Watchmen, which I know technically kind of DC, but not. Oh, so fuck you. It's a different book. Watchmen is its own book.
I'm avoiding the big classics. Watchmen.
How do you avoid the big classics?
Because you have to. Everybody knows about Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Mouse.
I didn't include V for Vendetta, and I didn't include Mouse. Watchmen, I guess, is then the only classic that I threw in.
There are some just books that are just fucking
Watchmen is the book that I feel if you don't read comics, you should read Watchmen. Because it has everything you need. It's realism.
It does,
it's
but
superhero books.
If you're not into the realism,
crazy.
It'll fucking piss you off.
Some people aren't mentally ready for, these world-moving superpowers. Okay, literally speaking.
I like Hush.
Hush was good. Hush is a very good quintessential Batman book because it, encompasses all of his major villains.
Yes.
That's a good call. I forgot about Hush.
And great art.
Mine for DC was The Killing Joke.
See, that's
so if you're going to throw in Batman, which I think you should at this point, because, who really gives a rat's ass about Superman that much? I mean, maybe you could give him the death of Superman, but...
No, the last good Superman book wasn't even in continuity. It was All-Star Superman.
I didn't like it.
Really?
I know, I'm weird.
Okay.
You giving Superman cancer? It's a fucked up thing to do.
Oh, it makes fucking sense. He absorbs the sun. Too much sun.
I get it, but you know how I feel about Morrison anyways, making me choke to death.
Yeah. Okay, I don't blame you on that one. For Marvel, Jesus. Infinity Gauntlet.
That's a good one.
That's my favorite.
That's very relevant to now as well.
Yes,
that's
too.
Good.
It is. Okay, I didn't think about that, but it's just my go-to fun read because everything else is so fucking convoluted with events and shit. It's just, I don't know what.
I had a toss-up with Marvel, actually. It takes two graphic novels, but if you can get him the Brubaker run of Captain America with the Winter Soldier, that was possibly the best book I've read in the last 10 to 15 years, whenever it was that it came out. I don't remember. But I loved that book. That turned Captain America into my train book. Because, it was just fucking that awesome.
I need to catch up to Captain America.
It's nice. Just don't rush.
Okay.
My other one was, because I actually had a buddy of mine at work who took his kids to see X-Men. They loved it. And he wanted to, they're looking to try to get their paws on his old comic books. And he's like, no. So he's like, Pete, what books could I give them for X-Men? And he was reading it during the Claremont era, so he knew all about those. Like, get the kids X-Men Mutant Genesis. It's only available in hardcover right now. It's like $30, but that reprints the first 7 issues of the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont run, which I told him is like basically the cornerstone of the modern X stories. Okay. And it's really what got me into reading X-Men. I was in 5th grade when that shit came out, and that was like fucking badass Ultimate Magneto right there with the whole this is Asteroid M, this is my home.
Okay, yeah. My favorite X-Men is probably Asgardian Wars, but it's not very jump on friendly.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's great. Love the art, love the story. Fucking Loki's in there. But yeah. My other, I don't know. I was kind of leaning towards Why the Last Man.
That's a good one.
But that's not exactly a story arc. That's like 60 fucking books.
Right.
But it's great. If you haven't read that, Why the Last Man is awesome. It's from Vertigo, and it's weird and trippy. It's not superheroish at all. It's just there's one last man and everybody else is dead except for women. So
you'd think he'd have the time of his life, but you'd be wrong.
That's it. They keep it real. Women do not run the planet smoothly, just like men don't run it smoothly, and it just shows, and it's well written, well done. It was Brian K. Vaughan, and it was just awesome.
Yeah. Before we close out the video show, our good buddies over at Epic Comic Picks and They run their podcast, Epic Comic Cast. They got a fun question this week. I said if you could hook up with any, comic book character, superhero or supervillain, who would it be and why? And Ramon and I are in complete accordance on this. Mystique. I mean, she's fucking flexible, first of all. Not even for the fact that she's Jennifer Lawrence, but she could be.
She could be. She changes shape. So if I'm in the mood for some Mexican, I get me some Salma Hayek. If I'm in the mood for some nice chocolate, Pam Grier. Classic, right there. Nice, right? Yeah, nice big tits, natural ass. Throw in the afro and shit, have on top of you. If I want some, really nice looking shit, I could have young Angelina Jolie from Hackers.
Gia.
Oh, I could go straight up porno. Like she could be Sasha Grey 1 minute, and she could be, I'm not gonna mention too much because I'll come off like a pervert. Yeah, but variety in one body, and then she ages fucking fantastically too.
Yeah. Mystique.
Hands
down.
Hands down.
One more. Speaking of Instagram, our buddy Superhero Origins wanted to know if you could take any comic book characters from any companies and have them cross over, who would you most want to see? And I'm trying to exclude characters who have crossed over in the past, like Batman and Spawn, Batman, Spider-Man is like everybody's fucking big one. Mark Bagley drew that phenomenally back in the day. You had like Punisher, Captain America, not Punisher, Captain America, Batman, Captain America. You had all of them. Mm-hmm. The big JLA Justice League crossover. Fuck, what am I saying? You had the big Justice League Avengers crossover. But one that you did not have, which I would love to see, is my buddy Frank crossover with X.
That'd be crazy.
It would be a fucking bloodbath.
It would.
And let's just throw in Shadowhawk for good measure. Let's get some broken spines in there along with fucking heads popping off.
Let's get an adults-only banner across that book.
Yeah, that's got to be a Max book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easily.
We could throw in Wolverine and X. They'll have a lot of fun together.
If they do it right.
Yeah.
Not that Wolverine.
Not the whack-ass Wolverine Max that was done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a fucking deep, good question. So, off the top of my head, Wonder Woman, Thor.
That's a good one, man.
If done right. If fucking done right.
That's good.
Because he'd hit it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes.
So, guys, make sure you tune in. We got a great contest going on right now. I am giving away my own personal copies of Days of Future Past, X-Men 141 and 142. 142 is signed by Chris Claremont. Sorry, guys, not CGC Signature Series. I got that shit signed way before that shit was invented. But, still like a good VF condition. And they can be yours if you just answer this question correctly. What was the original name of the X-Men before they were the X-Men? Obviously, the name was dropped in lieu of the X-Men, but Stan Lee had a different name in mind. What was it? Go on our Rafflecopter. You can find that on Pete'sBasement.com. You can find it on Facebook. Put in your answer. You do have to get the answer correctly. So that's one entry. You can enter a bunch of different ways, like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, repost the Instagram picture, retweet the Instagram picture. All of these are entries into the contest, but you have to get the question right. If you don't get the question right, you lose. Somebody else gets it. Finally, there is an Easter egg hidden in last week's episode. Not going to tell you nothing about it. Not going to tell you where it is, but it's in there somewhere. There is a secret ending. There's an after credits ending. Go find it.
Yes.
And the first 25 people to find it and write into questions@Pete'sBasement.com will get a free book of our choosing. We will send that shit to you. Only 2 lovely ladies have found it so far. So there's still 23 comics, hopefully with your name on it.
Ooh.
Hit us up, guys. Questions@Pete'sBasement.com, Facebook.com/Pete'sBasement. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram @Pete'sBasement. You can follow me, Pete from Pete's Basement. And make sure you go download the audio show for the rest of the comics. And we got fucking like 900 more questions to answer.
Oh, sorry. Where the fuck am I today? I'm horny.
Need some titties in your
Yes, I
face.
do.
Is what you do.